Welcome back to Spoil Me Niecy. It's me, Niecy, here, and I hope that you're all doing very well. So I missed you guys. It's been a little bit since I have made a video. I've been super busy with mommy duties, wife duties, daughter duties, and best of all, child of God duties. So I couldn't go much longer without making a video about Married at First Sight season 13. So much going on, so many red flags, so many curveballs, so many changes. This episode for this week, the couples are on their 1 month anniversary. So much happened there, and I have a lot to say. So let's get into it. So first, let's talk about Ryan and Brett. So if you are familiar with my previous videos about season 13 of Married at First Sight, you would know that my opinion of these two has been pretty consistent. They weren't one of my favorite couples from the beginning, and even though Brett is super cute, she's very pretty, I had my doubts on if Ryan would like her. Now, when they first got married, of course, he seemed to be very attracted to his wife, so I was happy to be proven wrong there. But slowly but surely it's coming out that he's just really not into his wife. He's attracted to her, but he's just not. It almost seems as though he's getting turned off every day. Now, one thing that I can say that I really like about Ryan, I like Brett too, but I want to talk about Ryan first. One thing that I like a lot about him is that even though he's not necessarily feeling his wife, he's not being a complete jerk to her either. I've noticed that on so many different seasons, including this season, and we'll get to it later. Usually when a person doesn't like their husband or wife, they become like a jerk. They start to treat them badly. But even though Ryan doesn't quite like Brett as much as she likes him, he seems to still treat her with the utmost respect, and he's very sensitive to her feelings. So I can actually appreciate that about him. But in the end, he's just not feeling it. And I like the fact that he explains it. He's not leading her on. He's not making her feel like he likes her while behind her back, saying something different. He's letting her know that he's just not there yet. So even though he's just not feeling it, I certainly give him props for his honesty, because the truth is the truth, right? Even if the truth hurts, you still got to give a person credit for saying the truth, because sometimes it's easier to tell a lie than the truth. So like I said, I give Ryan credit for that, and I actually like him more. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a very nice guy, but he's just not feeling it. So even though I have a lot of understanding when it comes to Ryan, I don't really hold it against him that he doesn't like her. Even with all that being said, I still believe that Brett deserves better. I really do. And here's why. Aside, looks aren't everything. So I know that I keep saying that she's an attractive woman. Just because I'm a woman myself, naturally when you see a woman who's nice and she's pretty, and then she's with a guy that's not really into her, it can make you feel like, oh, what's his problem? What is it that he is either seeing or not seeing in her that makes him not like her? It can almost be a little bit confusing. But anyway, I do believe that she deserves better, and I say that because Brett is truly trying. Anyone that goes on Married at First Sight, they go on this show knowing that there's a 50% chance that they may not like the spouse they're given, or that they will absolutely love the spouse they're given, or that, they'll like their spouse and their spouse won't like them, or vice versa. So even though Brett knew the risks before coming on the show, so did Ryan. He did too. But from what I see with Brett, it seems like she's really trying. She's really putting that foot forward to work with him, even though she knows that he's not into her like that. So, I respect how Ryan feels, but I do want better for Brett. And I really hope these two turn it around, because I can honestly see why the experts put them together. They are a good match. They are a good match. So I'm hoping that whatever it is that's turning Ryan off from Brett, I'm hoping that he gets past it, because these two, I feel, can certainly have a great future together if they get past those things. So I'm hoping for the best for these two. So next we have Rachel and Jose. So these two, this is another couple that I've consistently said is awkward, and they're certainly not one of my favorite couples. And I stand very solid in that view of these two. They're still very awkward. I personally, I can tell that Jose likes her. I mean, despite him locking her out and him yelling at her. Now, to keep it 100% real with you guys, last episode, not the one that came out last night, but the one prior to that, I only saw maybe 90 minutes of that episode, because I was having some technical difficulties with demand. I couldn't watch it the day of. So I didn't get to see the whole incident with him yelling at her and locking her out of the house. So I can't really talk too much about that. So with that, I'm only going based off of what Rachel said. And she seemed to still be pretty hurt by whatever it is he said to her and him locking her out of the apartment. But aside from that, I can't really comment on that since I didn't see that part of that episode. But aside from that, before that even happened, me personally, I think that Rachel doesn't like him. The more Jose opens up his mouth, Rachel seems to get more and more turned off. And, she might say that she likes him, but just like I feel she lied about not knowing how to ride a bike, I feel like she's lying about liking him. I'm actually very surprised they had sex with each other, honestly. I didn't see that coming from those two. Despite all of their uncomfortable kissing and all that stuff that they do, I don't know, I'm just kind of not buying it. As always, of course, I hope that these couples work, because as I always say, these couples are really married for real. And marriage is certainly very, very spiritual. And it's biblical, so naturally, if somebody is married, you want that to work. That, marriage is a big deal. So even though I feel like Rachel and Jose are an awkward match, and I don't feel like she likes him, I really hope they work. I really do. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't see her saying yes on decision day, but I hope I hope that I'm proven wrong. I'll put it to you that way. So next, I want to talk about another couple. Now, this next couple that I'm going to talk about is one of my top 3 favorites. But before I talk about the couple as a whole, I just want to say that there's one bride on the show that I feel has the juice, honey. And honestly, that's Mirla. Mirla's got the juice. And here's why. Out of all of the wives on the show, aside from Brett, all of the other wives so far this season has given up the draws. Okay, they've all had sex with their husbands. It's great. Those are their husbands. They can have sex with them, sure, but they're still kind of strangers. But I'm not judging. I'm not looking at it from that point. I'm just saying that all of the other wives have gotten physical and had sex with their husbands, right? None of the husbands are treating their wives the way that Gil is treating Mirla. None of them. Gil treats Mirla like he loves her, honestly. And I wasn't surprised that he said that he's falling in love with her. Now, don't get me wrong. Gil constantly going in on Mirla, like making fun of her and stuff like that. That's annoying to me. I find that very annoying. I think it's a turn off and all that good stuff. However, over the last 2 weeks, I'm starting to see that is how do I put it? That's just kind of how they do things in their relationship. Some people are like that. You have some relationships where you'll have a person that I guess pokes a little fun at the other person with no harmful intentions. And I'm starting to get the vibe that that's where Gil is coming from. But ultimately, he says that he's falling in love with his wife, but I wouldn't be afraid to bet that he's already there because of the way that he treats her. That little, I don't know if I would call it a picnic, but the dinner that he made for Mirla, where he, got the dinner and all the macaroons. I thought that was so thoughtful. Like, it was small, but it was thoughtful. He treats her like a queen. He really does. And in previous episodes, I've said that these two are horrible together. But you know what? I am happy to report that I'm being proven wrong. These two are actually working out quite nicely, and I'm starting to actually like them together. I think they're really cute. I really hope that whatever source I got the source that I got my information from a few weeks back that said they broke up, I'm really hoping that source is just wrong, and I hope that they actually stay together, because so far I'm actually kind of liking Mirla and Gil. They're actually really cute together. But the whole point in me saying that, Mirla has a juice is that she's barely even kissed Gil. I mean, she kissed him once, and he's already just falling in love with her. And Mirla hasn't even done anything that special. Despite her being so high maintenance and having all of this designer stuff and, the show and Gil, and her making it seem like she's so fancy, I haven't seen her look fancy on the show yet, to be 100% honest with you. Half the time, when Mirla is filmed, she looks like she just rolled out of bed, honestly. And Mirla's a very beautiful woman. She's very beautiful. But my whole point in saying that is that she's not real made up. She doesn't wear like a whole bunch of makeup and fake and all that stuff. Like, Mirla, despite her liking all these nice things, when you look at her, you wouldn't know that she's so high maintenance unless she actually said it, because the way that she looks when she's filming, she looks like a regular humble chick. I mean, so the whole point is like, she's kind of doing less than the other wives. She's not doing the physical too much. She's not doing too much to impress him. And she's literally just being herself. And he's just like falling in love with her. And she's kind of falling for him too. So when I noticed that in the episode last night, sorry y'all. When I noticed that in the episode last night, I was just like, oh, Mirla got the juice. Go ahead, Mirla. But yeah, I really, really, really like Mirla and Gil together. So far, I think that Mirla and Gil are working their way up to be like my favorite couple on the show. I think that Gil's a nice guy. I think that for next season, they need to just recruit him to be one of the experts, because he got advice. He gives like very good advice, and I just really like these two. I'm so hopeful. I'm really, really hoping that these two make it, because they're really cute. So next, after my little mishap, I'm sure you guys know, I'm going to talk about Bao and Johnny next. So, okay. All right, where do I start with these two? So Bao and Johnny, these two were my number two, or let's say tied with Zach and Michaela. Up there like my favorite couple on the season. And I can honestly say that it's changing so much. And I think that's changing because Johnny is getting on my damn nerves. He just really is. He's getting on my nerves. And, the thing when it comes to Johnny is that he almost seems as though he can't stand his wife. Like he seems like he cannot stand her at all. Now, don't get me wrong. They have their cute moments. Over the last couple of weeks, they have good times. They have bad. He left. He came back. Whatever. This episode, they went skydiving. That was really cute. They had their cute little moments there. All of that, great. But I feel like Bao gets under his skin too easily, too fast. It's like she can say something a certain way and it sets him off. And it's not even like it's just like, oh, that's annoying, whatever. No, like Johnny's face turns red. Like he just completely gets mad at his wife for like some of like the smallest reasons. Now, I know that people keep talking about like Bao and not taking a shower stuff. That's getting played out now, because in the end, if he had that much of a problem with her not being big on taking constant showers, then why would he have sex with her? You know? So, if he doesn't have a problem with his wife not being the cleanest, I don't think anybody else should, because that's their relationship and her hygiene. So, I'm not holding that whole shower thing against her. That's her body. That's her choice, right? If she doesn't want to wash that, that's on her. And he's still hitting it. So there you go. But it just kind of seems like I don't know. I feel like people like Johnny, like when they're in a relationship with someone that annoys them as much as Bao annoys him, I feel like that can easily turn into a very toxic relationship for Bao. Because it can possibly, if she doesn't hold her own, it can possibly turn into a situation where she can't be who she is at all, because who she is really turns Johnny off and it angers him. And I think that's a big red flag. Personally, I think that Bao's a good person, but it almost seems as though she can't get anything right. Like in the beginning of the show when they were together, Johnny was upset because she wasn't being physical, because she was, messing up all of their romantic moments, because she was like, complaining or whatever, being kind of like a killjoy. Now that Bao has come out of her shell and she's trying to have sex with him the way that he was upset that she wasn't trying to do before, she's being romantic. She's doing all the things now that he complained she didn't do before. And now that she's doing all that stuff, it's like, oh, well, now she wants too much sex. Oh, now she does this. Now she does that. It almost seems as though Bao can't do anything right, because they'll take like 2 steps forward just to take 5 steps backwards, because it's like Bao can breathe wrong and it sets Johnny TF off. And I think that's a big red flag. And I feel like Bao deserves better than that. I really do. Now, I understand that he was upset that, she made herself seem, I guess, better than what he feels she is at the dinner table. And in his defense, I can see why that annoyed him a little bit, because that can make her seem a little bit fake. But me personally, I feel like, he was a little fake this last episode too, because he tells her friend, he pretty much told his friend in so many words in this episode that he doesn't like his wife and that she annoys him so much. But then when they're around people, he's bringing her roses and acting all sweet and making it seem like everything is good when it's not. When he knows doggone well, which he's already said, that if they weren't married, he'd be running for the hills. So it was like, how are you going to get mad at your wife for being a little fake when you're a little fake too? So yeah, when it comes to Bao and Johnny, whereas before I thought they were cute, now I'm seeing those major red flags, and I'm seeing signs from Johnny that he might be a little bit toxic when it comes to Bao. Now I saw some people on Twitter joking, saying that Bao might be like a mastermind, and it's like, y'all, come on with the bullcrap, okay? Like Bao and she exaggerated how much she cooks, and now she's a mastermind. Get out of here with that, okay? No, Bao, she is trying more than Johnny is. She has, and she's actually put up with a lot so far from Johnny. So no. While I do think that there are things that Bao does that are problematic, I'm seeing more red flags from Johnny. So I'm interested to see where this goes. As always, I do hope they work out. But I do hope that Johnny gets past that, because he needs to start being honest with himself. And if he really does dislike his wife, then I would like to see him show his wife the same patience and care that Ryan shows to Brett, even though he doesn't like her. But that's just my take on that. I hope they make a turnaround. So last but not least, we have Michaela and Zach. So before I get into these two, I will say that they are still my favorite couple on the show, even though it's gotten pretty toxic between these two, and it kind of seems like their relationship is shaky. I still have so much hope for them because I want them to work so bad. I know the source that I had said that the online source, I don't have any behind the scenes anybody knowing them, but even though the source that I found said that they decided to go separate ways, I'm hoping that source had it wrong, because I really want these two to work. So before I say anything else, I just want to say, I just want to admire how God has blessed these two people to be so physically attractive. I think that both Zach and Michaela are two very, very, very beautiful people. You may call Michaela crazy, and she might, be a little loopy, but sure can't call her ugly, but that's a beautiful woman. So, so yeah, I think that physically, these two are a very, very beautiful couple. Now, aside from all the positive, another thing that I will say about this couple is the proof that sometimes the way people look, or the way couples look on the outside, may not be how they look behind the scenes. And I say that because if Michaela and Zach had met under different terms and there weren't cameras around them to film everything, when you look at how Michaela speaks, people would be looking at Zach like he's the bad guy. They really would. And people would never believe that Michaela would be the way that she is behind closed doors. When we were all first introduced to Michaela, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, including myself, knew that there was something a little bit off about her, because I don't know, it's something in the eyes, man. She kind of has the facial expressions that she makes. She kind of has that look, kind of like Crazy Eyes a little bit from Orange is the New Black. You can kind of tell that there's something behind that beautiful smile of hers, But, of course, a lot of us gave her the benefit of the doubt and all that stuff. But, when you look at how a lot of the other couples, when they met Michaela, or not the other couples, but the other wives, Michaela kind of made it seem as though Zach is the problem, or kind of made it seem like, there's no problem at all. And if there is a problem, it's not her. And I'm really happy they had cameras there to show that Zach is actually the innocent one, and Michaela's been wreaking a lot of havoc, But aside from all the craziness that Michaela has done, I know that we all could talk for hours about how Michaela has seemed so far, and then how crazy the coming attractions for the next episode has her looking. I have to give credit where credit is due. And Michaela is definitely putting steps forward to try. And I'm a big believer that nobody is perfect. And it's one thing for a person to have imperfections and not be trying to make them right. But Michaela is trying. She's definitely trying to make them right. Zach does seem a little unforgiving. He's kind of seems like one minute he's for it and the next minute he's not. But I don't blame him either, because Michaela does show some big red flags. Now, I know in last night's episode, everybody was pretty upset that she didn't dance salsa. But me personally, I think there could have been more to the story. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I think that there should be more to the story, that not should be, but I believe there is more to the story, because I follow a couple of, husbands and wives from previous seasons. And one of them in particular that I follow on Instagram is Chris Williams from last season. Now, because of who he was and how he portrayed himself to be last season, I'm sure most people would say, okay, well, he's not a credible person to listen to. And with that all being said, I don't buy it, because even though Chris, did some pretty crummy things last season, I still value his take on the show and how everything goes on. And he made a really good point that sometimes there are things that goes on behind the scene that we don't get to see on the episodes, but we only see like a clip of it or one part of it, and it creates a certain narrative about a person. And I can actually see that. And I've been saying that from jump, that I truly believe that the experts do try to spin certain narratives about people on the show. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was something more that went on behind the scenes, which made Michaela not want to dance with Zach at the salsa date with Gil and Mirla. Now, what I will say about that date, so I'm not going to really comment on what I feel about her not dancing, because really I do feel like there has to be more to it. Salsa is really romantic and fun, so I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want to do it, you know. But what I will say I didn't like about that date is I didn't like how she chose that moment to talk about their issues. I thought that was a little bit weird and uncalled for. But I do see that Michaela is growing, because Gil did talk to her, and you know, she did flash him the crazy eyes a little bit, but she stayed calm. And you know what, I'm gonna give Michaela some credit, because I do see that she's trying. Now, one thing that I noticed about Michaela and Zach is, you know, Michaela claims that she loves him, and I disagree. I feel like what she has for him is lust. And I feel that way because you know, this episode, they had a good time. You know, they seemed to, you know, do the nasty again. And then afterwards, they went out to eat. So, you know, of course the show didn't show it, but it was kind of implied. And it was also implied when they first got married that, you know, these two really enjoy their lovemaking together. And it's just interesting that after they do it again, now it's like, oh, I'm definitely falling in love with this man. No, ma'am. I don't believe it. I believe she's falling in love with the penis. I think she gets crazy after, you know, they share these moments. But yeah, I don't buy the whole love thing. I'd have to see them a little more to see if I believe that a whole lot. I definitely don't see love at this point from Zach to Michaela yet, because Zach honestly seems like he's afraid of Michaela, honestly. And I feel like if decision day was tomorrow, honestly, I feel like Zach would say no. But that's just me. I'm glad decision day is not tomorrow, because I really don't see him saying yes at this point. But yeah, it seems like Michaela and Zach are going along, and I do see some promise in them. I want them to work so bad. I really do. And I would like to see Zach give Michaela another chance. And you know, even though she does show some personality flaws, I don't know. Sometimes people can certainly change. And I really do want to see these two make it. I really do. So, yeah, that's my take on this episode. As always, make sure if you feel the same way or have a difference in opinion, make sure you comment. Let me know how you feel. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Make sure you like and share this video. And until next time, you guys, peace and God bless you all in Jesus' name. Peace.